good attractor fly. I'm going to make this one for trout. You can tie this on a salmon hook and use it for steelhead. Comets are real good for salmon and steelhead. I'm going to use a pink thread. I'm going to start this behind the eye, and we're going to come back only maybe 1 eye length, and then we're going to go ahead and trim off the excess. We're going to start out with, I have Chartreuse bead chain eyes. I'm going to tie these in. We're going to put them right there on that thread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 one way. Then we're going to take it the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And usually you have to go almost twice as many wraps in the opposite direction on the initial. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There, we got it. Straighten that out. Then you could take 5 wraps that way, another 5 wraps the other way. Now we're going to take the thread and go under the beads and over the shank. And that will tighten that up. We can move our thread to the rear. Before I get all the way, I'm going to take a little bit of super glue, and I'm going to put some super glue in between the eyes. And by the time we get back up, it'll be dry and it'll be nice and tight. Put them on the bottom there. A little bit on the top. My brush is kind of gnarled up there. And we'll take our thread back to the tail. Like I said, by the time we get back up to the eyes will be really tight. We're going to bring this down around the bend. This is a drop shank hook. I'm going to come to where it would hang at the bottom of the tail. And for the tail, I'm going to use a Chartreuse Hackle. I'm going to take some off the back. I want some nice stiff barbels. Kind of stand them up. Pull them off. I'm going to take the ones from the opposite side. Nice stiff tail there. And I want that tail to be maybe 1/2 to 2/3 the length of the shank. Go ahead and secure this. Having a little bit of those pieces sticking up aren't going to matter because it's a pretty thick body. I'm going to go ahead and put one underneath the tail. Now I'm going to take a piece of pink floss. I'm going to take a length of pink floss. Doesn't have to be that long. There's only going to be the rib. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run that over my tongue before I go ahead and tie it on. We're going to tie this on. Let me get it. I want to get that almost underneath. Keep that on my side here. Now for the body, I have Chartreuse yarn here, but Chartreuse floss will be fine. But the Chartreuse yarn will work fine too. I'm going to take this yarn because it's so thick. I'm going to make the tag all the way up to the eye. And that will help to keep a level body. I'm going to wrap it, quick wraps, and then I'll go back on it. And bring that back up. We're going to take our Chartreuse yarn. We're going to wrap the body. Let's wrap it tight, one next to the other. This will be a good fly also in warm water for the bluegills and such. We're going to stop at the eye and we're going to tie that down. And we can trim off the excess. Now we're going to take our floss, our pink floss. You could even roll this tighter if you'd like. Oop. I'm going to put a wrap underneath the tail first. There we go. I'm going to wet it again. I'm actually going to roll this so it doesn't flatten on me. This is one of the first flies I tied, and I did well with stock trout with it. And we'll go ahead and remove that excess. Now I'm going to take the rest of that chartreuse feather, going to grab the tip of it with my hackle pliers. Then I'm going to pull the hackle back. And I'm going to tie that in. And we can nip away that little piece. I'm going to pull the hackle to one side. You don't want to pull too hard because you can pull that out. You don't have that crew cut on there. I'm just going to wind that and kind of stroke them to the rear as I go. We're going to wind it all right there on that spot. And last one, I'm going to tie that in. Got a couple of hackles going forward there. I'm just going to secure this. Going to get rid of that excess. And then I can take those hackles and push them back. Try to hold everything to the rear. Put a couple of wraps on there to get them to go towards the rear. I'm going to kind of do a figure eight so that I don't see any chartreuse underneath or in there. Bring that thread in front of the eye and go ahead and tie the head. Take our whip finish. Trim that off. And you could put head cement on there, or you could put a little bit more super glue on there. go ahead and use a little bit more super glue. And if you use the super glue, it's a good idea to make sure you put a feather through the eye. And here we have a chartreuse and pink comet. Hope you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends, leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.